Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and record the meeting, and then we'll go ahead and just push it onto Facebook later. So hopefully some people will start seeing that they can log in to the Facebook page, and then hopefully we'll go from there. So Melissa, if you see some people as they want to get added in, that'd be great. As we go throughout the meeting, go ahead and put any kind of chat in. If you have any questions, put it in the chat, and we'll try to go ahead and answer your questions as we go. And then at the end, we'll definitely just kind of have an open forum, open discussion about anything else that anybody has questions on. So we'll go ahead and get started. And again, just thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Always a little housekeeping, of course, just because you're in a Zoom meeting. If you can go ahead and just keep your mics muted, that would be fantastic. And then again, go ahead and use the chat feature to ask questions. Or if not, again, we can also have you unmute and ask questions that way as well as we go along. So I always like to start off, and you know this, every meeting, about just thank you. I can't say that enough about everyone who has stayed home when necessary. Thank you those who volunteered, made donations, and also just thank you, Concord, for doing your part. Of course, we all know it's frustrating, and of course, what are we, week 12, 13 now? But honestly, I think overall, Concord, Contra Costa County has done a good job, and hopefully, as we start kind of coming out of a lot of this stuff and things start reopening, we'll be in a good place, and we don't have to go and kind of repeat some things that we've already had to do. Again, thank you to our essential workers, and thank you, of course, to the Chamber and Visit Concord, especially give a nice shout out to Kevin for putting these signs up around town, and thank you to Visit Concord for making these possible. And I believe even Pacific Service Credit Union, they also sponsored a few of the banners that went up around town, so that was fantastic to see, and just a good thank you for everybody in our community. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I see a number of people are continuing to join us. And again, sorry for the technical difficulties today. We weren't able to do Facebook Live. For some reason, that link was not working this morning. So we'll go ahead and post this later. But I do want to just go ahead and go through just the current state of where we are right now. And hopefully at this time, a lot of people are starting to kind of see some of the graphics and different things that are out there. But of course, as of June 17th, everyone was able to get their haircuts, thank goodness. But luckily, the health department has gone and done a good job about kind of giving us a roadmap, which has been really nice, because I think a lot of people are trying to figure out where are we going and when. Give us an idea. And so the first set of orders, of course, came out. So we had our first grouping set up this Wednesday, of course, at 6 a.m., June 17th. And those were things, barbershops, hair salons, some more things around swimming pools. Of course, the swimming pools continue to get opened, and also religious services, especially indoor. So not just funeral, but religious services at your place of worship. They increase that to at least 100 people. And then, of course, I'll go ahead and show you a little bit later on July 1st. Of course, more things open, and then subsequently after that. So at least we have a little bit of an idea of what's to come. So the other thing I want to make sure is the governor did extend that moratorium for renters through July 28th. This does apply to the city of Concord. I know there's some future conversations are going to be had around this topic down the road, I believe, on our July 7th meeting. Some other things around just general policies in the city of Concord. But it's just good to make sure that people are still aware of what that is. So let's go ahead and jump into the general county orders. Again, for the most part, a lot of people have seen this, but it's just good to continue to talk about the different things that are going on and what the timelines look like. And so, of course, we're going through June. Luckily, June 5th, we had a number of things open up. June 17th, like I mentioned, a lot of people went out and got their haircut. I know I did, and thank goodness, it was kind of nice. But July 1st, a number of things are really starting to get to open. And the biggest one, of course, is indoor dining, some of the indoor religious services, gyms. And so there's going to be a lot of guidelines around that, though. It's not just, hey, we're getting open and we're not going to worry about it. And so, of course, we've got Guy Bierke, our Director of Community and Economic Development and our reuse planning, and he's going to kind of go through some of the different things that restaurants are going to have to do. But it's also good for just residents to know, hey, these are the different things that restaurants are going to have to do that in some cases, you should be aware of what they're doing too, because in some cases, if they're not doing those things, that should be concerned for you. And it's something to where, from accountability standpoint, the goal is, hey, to make sure everyone is safe. So, it's one of those, we understand things are going to open. And in some cases, numbers probably will continue to climb. So we have to be very careful about how things open and how we operate and what we're doing. But you can see here, of course, we've got some other things happening July 15th, personal services, also movie theaters, and then card rooms. We don't really have one of those, but I think the movie theater thing is a big thing. And so you're going to start seeing kind of that reopening of retail and a lot more things starting to reopen, but we can't stress enough that please just be careful in your efforts. Things that are currently not allowed by the state still at this point in time, we've got playgrounds, basketball courts, soccer courts, youth sports is a big one, and any large gatherings. So unfortunately, we still aren't able to put together large scale events. We're still not able to kind of get back to the full normal. That's why, of course, we've got some great staff around us between Visit Concord and the Chamber and our economic development staff and our Park and Rec staff. Have all tried to stand up a number of virtual events and things just to kind of keep things fun and interesting as we go. So I would be completely remiss if I did not mention how important face coverings are at this time. This is something that, please, if you are able to, make sure you go out and get yourself face masks. And it is a face covering. It doesn't have to be an N95 mask. It doesn't need to be something that suffocates you. But wearing a face covering is honestly considered an act of kindness at this point. We understand that nobody really wants to do it, but it's something that is important. And so while everyone is probably more upset about still having to shelter in place, it's kind of the trade-off. And so that's hopefully the way everybody can approach this is that it's important. And if we want to continue to get open, it's kind of a general level of, hey, if we can all do this together, then we can all actually start to kind of be able to get back to normal a little bit too. So the final reminder, of course, the few things that make a difference, the social distancing still continues to be important. Covering your face, washing your hands, staying home. It's, I think everybody's slowly becoming health experts at this point. Everybody's hopefully extremely aware of hygiene. And so just please continue to be mindful of it. Let's not forget about how important this is. And in some cases, hey, it'll even have some other effects of you not actually getting sick for other things too at this point. So it doesn't have to be just one thing. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about some of the things that are going on. I've got our city manager, Valerie Baroni, with us today, and she's going to go over some of the CARES Act and COVID relief monies that are out there from the federal government. They're going to be coming to the city of Concord. Valerie?
Hi, so this is Valerie Baroni. On Tuesday night, the council will have on their agenda allocation of some funds that are federal government funds from the CARES Act that come to the city as part of our CDBG program that can only be spent on COVID-related relief. And still there's other qualifying factors because it is CDBG money. So the recommendations in front of council are to spend the vast majority of the money on rental assistance. On rental assistance, and that's about almost $400,000 of the money that's coming to the city. We would do that through Shelter Inc., which I think most people know is an organization that already is in this space, but by giving additional funding and identifying it for Concord residents only who qualify for it, we'll be able to make a difference. We think that will help about 50 families. The other two areas relate to food, and we're proposing to give Monument Crisis Center $90,000 to help with their food and their food distribution. They've had a 300% increase in demand for services, and they will be able to use this money and targeted it for our Concord residents. And Meals on Wheels, again, we want to continue to support them because their demand has grown dramatically as well. So with that, and then there's about 20% of the money, which is for administration and running the program and doing all the paperwork that the federal government requires as part of the CDBG funding process. So we're excited to have that program come forward, and we feel like it will be able to really target one of the areas that the council and the community has been expressing significant concern on, which is rental assistance. Because while we did put a eviction moratorium in place and a rent increase moratorium in place, that doesn't forgive anybody's debt. And if you've been out of work for 3 or 4 months, it's hard to imagine how you're going to be able to catch up. And so having some kind of rental assistance program seemed critical. That's really all I had to share.
Oh, thank you very much. And this is great. I wanted people to be aware of, um, you know, there's sometimes a confusion about city budgets and kind of where monies go. And so this was good, especially as it relates to rental assistance. There have been talk about us, of course, as a city taking that on, but you can see we're working through a third party to still accomplish the same thing. And we felt that was a really good way of doing that. So thank you for sharing that. That was some good information for everybody. So next up, we have Guy Bierke. He is the director of our community economic development and our reuse project. And there's a number of great resources that are going on within the city, within his department and his staff that they've set up. And so we're going to go ahead and review a number of those things that are coming up right now. Oh, Guy, you're muted.
Following instructions too closely.
All right.
So what I want to show you today, first of all, on July 1st, I become the Director of Economic Development and Base Reuse. And so I'm explaining to you some of the economic development programs that we are promoting and working towards to make our local economic recovery successful. You can see a number of them on this slide. I'm going to share my screen with you so that I can walk you through where you can find more information about these programs on the city's website. So you should be seeing the city's Concord First web page. And if you go to Concord First, as the mayor's slide showed you, if you go to Concord Forward, it takes you to the COVID-19 page. And this is the Concord Forward or COVID-19 business resources. And what I want to walk you through as I scroll down here is some of the existing things that you need to be aware of if you are a business owner in Concord or a resident and a customer wanting to understand how businesses are reopening in Concord. I'm going to, at the end of this presentation, tell you a little bit more about the Concord Forward Action Plan that the council adopted a week ago Tuesday, and more of the particulars of that. But right now, I just want to explain to you that there is kind of a process that businesses who are reopening need to go through in order to reopen safely, to maintain the both social and physical distancing that the state and county health orders are requiring. And so under the current shelter in place portion of this page, we point out to you that if you are a business reopening, and City Hall is the same way, there is an appendix at the end of the health orders that are issued. So you need to see the latest health order, and then you need to go to Appendix A, and you need to walk through that and make sure that your business is adhering or working through the various steps in the social distancing protocols. And that's a document, it's a checkbox document. So you're either doing it or there's a reason you can't do it. And you need to have that document, you need to post it, make sure your employees have it. It's not something you turn into anybody, it's just something that you're supposed to do before you reopen your business. The other things that you need to keep in mind if you're reopening your business is that generally there's also an Appendix C1 that goes with each of the health orders. And that explains the nuances for each of the opening businesses and special things they need to do. But on page 1 of Appendix C1 are 2 projects or 2 things, 2 plans that the business needs to think about and develop so that they open correctly. So it's not just the social distancing in Appendix A, but there's actual other things that need to be done found on the bottom of the first page of Appendix C1. I know it seems like a lot, but it's important that you go through them so that if you are challenged as a business owner, you can say, I've worked through this. We have economic development staff at the city who can help you walk through this. They can't do it for you, but they can help you figure out how to do it. And so I want to make you aware of that. There's also a series of industry guidance documents that the states put out. that give you additional guidance on how to do things correctly. And those are also links here on this webpage. I'm going to skip the Concord Forward and come back to it in a couple minutes. We've done some special instructions to help restaurants open and made sure that they understand where they can find their industry guidance. We have already figured out through the Concord Forward plan, we've already worked with several restaurants to help them reopen outdoor dining, and that has proven to be a success. We expect more applications, and of course, if the business was already doing outdoor dining before the pandemic hit, it's much easier for them to open relative to outdoor dining. But as part of Concord Forward, and I'll cover that in a minute, you can get temporary permission to use sidewalks or temporary permission to expand into outdoor private property if the property owner or the shopping center or the mall agrees to let you do that. The mayor's already talked a little bit about the eviction and rent increase moratorium. We're now under the state moratorium, and it goes through July 28th. And so that's something to continue to monitor, but it continues to be in place. The Concord Economic Development staff also has a list of open businesses, and it's getting a lot of attention and a lot of website hits. So if you are a business owner, if you are reopening, you want to make sure your business is on this list so that people who are searching to find out who's open and who's not open, they find you on this list. And you want to click on this link and do that. The other thing the council did as part of our program was to give business license relief. So if your business license has been coming up during the pandemic, we're basically giving you a deferral and allowing for you to pay for it later. And we are waiving any penalties for that business license deferral so that we keep people moving and keep people in business. And then in partnership with both Visit Concord and the Concord Chamber, we have a Concord Eats program. And so we're trying, when businesses and restaurants were allowed to do takeout and stay open, we've been trying to market with our partners to make sure that our customers and our residents knew which restaurants were open, which restaurants were providing takeout service. And then really the last two here, if you are in business and you need a particular permit to do a permanent improvement, or you're trying to develop a new project, our community development department is open. We have a virtual process where you can apply for virtually any permit online through our building, engineering, and planning divisions. So if you need a permit, if you want to make an investment in a capital facility or an improvement to your business that's permanent, you need to go through this process, and it's available to you. And lastly, we have a bunch of additional resources, federal, state, and otherwise, on this website. Now, if I can shift gears just briefly, the Concord Forward Action Plan is really 9 steps that the City Council has taken to make it easier for city staff to help you open your businesses and for customers to know which businesses are open. The first action plan was literally the council suspending a number of the municipal codes that regulate how parking works, how sidewalks work, how signage works, and basically delegating to staff, letting staff streamline some of those approvals and changes that we think are necessary on a temporary basis to make businesses able to say, hey, we're open, hey, we're in business, come back and visit us. The second action item is really a temporary expansion of outdoor dining. We've set up 2 processes. One, for those businesses that need to use public right-of-way, like sidewalks, or maybe to take some street parking, there's a particular process to go through, and the links will take you to that process. It's very streamlined, but we still have to check a few boxes before we let you do that. On the other hand, if you're in a shopping center and you're in a mall and it's private property, work with your property manager or the property owner, and we at the city will help make it very quick in order to get businesses reopened and to get you to be able to use outdoor space both for restaurants and for dining. Third, we're going to make it easier for you to signage your business, because we know letting people know you're open is the biggest battle business people face. And so working together with the Chamber of Commerce, we have promoted we've changed the regulations around temporary signage, and later on you'll see we've got in action item 6 an open for business signage campaign, where we have pre-designed open for business signs that you can download and print from the city's website, or the chamber has them and the chamber can make them available or deliver them to you. And action item 4 is the expedited review of improvements for social distancing. Just because the county or the state is saying you can reopen, they also have in these appendixes and things I told you about earlier, a lot of rules about 6 feet and how many people can be in a group and all of these things. And so this is the idea being that some businesses may need to make permanent changes in order to comply with the order. And if they do, we want to expedite the way the city reviews those permanent changes while maintaining public health and safety, but also expediting a business's ability to make a permanent rather than temporary change. And so we've created a process and an action team to do that. So they will look at things and move expeditiously within 24 to 48 hours to let you know how it will work, how it will be done, and as much as possible to do it over the counter. The last 4 items here really deal with marketing and attracting customers back to businesses in Concord. We're going to work with the Chamber and Visit Concord on expanding our social media marketing. We've got, as I said before, the Open for Business signage campaign. We're working with the Chamber now to come up with a Shop Local campaign to try and reconnect residents with resident businesses so that we keep our sales tax dollars and our consumer dollars in Concord as much as possible. And then as the health order allows, in action item number 8, we're going to begin to try and create special events in various retail districts, not just downtown, but in the Monument, in Clayton Road, out at the far end of town, to try and create some interest and bring people back out. They'll initially be virtual types of events, and then as the health order allows, we will create other events in different retail districts. And lastly, in business support, look, before the pandemic, the unemployment rate in Concord was like less than 3%. Now we know the county, we don't know Concord, but we know the county's at as much as 13%. And so we know there's a need to reconnect businesses with people seeking work. And so we're going to work cooperatively with the Contra Costa Workforce Development Board to try and make sure that businesses who need people know how to use the development board, because that's where unemployed folks generally register and get some assistance and connect people who need work with people who need workers. So that's the broad strokes, Mr. Mayor, of the Concord Forward Action Plan. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about it today. And clearly I'll be around to answer questions that anyone may have.
All right. Thank you so much, Guy. We appreciate that. And go ahead and let's see. I need to reshare the slides. I don't know if we can see that yet or not.
Yes.
Is that coming up?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So yeah, thank you for that. And you know what I'm going to do is here is some of the signage that you're going to see. And one of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to have Kevin, he is the CEO of the Concord Chamber, just chime in here really quickly. And I'd love to know, I know Kevin, you and your team has been extremely busy helping a number of businesses get open. What does that look like for you guys recently?
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, it's been interesting as businesses start to open. It's happening quickly, like it shut down. So we're communicating a lot of the information that we've been learning, and also with the signage that was provided by the city, just helping them find the guidelines like Guy talked about. You know, it sounds more complicated than it is, but it actually is a very easy process to fill that paperwork out and have it at your place of business. So you can show that you're following the guidelines. So just kind of doing some of that stuff. And we've been getting different businesses to speak to our group about how you can move around your area so people can come in and social distance safely, and the reminding of the masks, a lot of that thing, just teaching our businesses what they can do to open and open safely. And as we go around the community, it's refreshing to see that a lot of customers are wearing masks, the business owners themselves are wearing masks, and it seems to be revitalizing. And the Willow Shopping Center and the veranda, you're starting to see more traffic. So that's really nice to see. And we're there for the chamber. Even if you are not a member of the chamber, we'll gladly assist any business, or if you have any questions about opening a business, or if you need any kind of guidance, we are there. Just hit us online or give us a call. The chamber offices now are open by appointment only, so you would need to contact us if you wanted to come down to our location, and we practice the guidelines as well. So hit us up and let us know, and we'll share all the information we have and hopefully help your business get up and rolling.
All right. Thanks so much, Kevin.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. We appreciate your entire team at this point. They've done a great job of really helping along in partnership with our economic development staff. And so I feel very fortunate that we've got such a good team trying to work with our businesses. So again, thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and just kind of look through the final reminders. Of course, cityofconcord.org has a lot of good information on it. And if that's the one place you go, then again, you can connect to the different resources that Mr. Bierke talked about, and a number of other things that you may need to tag into. So let me go ahead and kind of round out some of the other things that are going on. Of course, COVID testing is available, of course, in the city of Concord. We have 2 sites at this point in time. We have a new site that just opened at 1034 Oak Grove Road in Concord, and then, of course, the Contra Costa Public Health Services Clinic at 2500 Bates Avenue. It is by appointment only, though, but you can give them a call. Here are the numbers on your screen. It's the 844-421-0804. That number actually works for both sites, or any sites, actually, I believe, in Contra Costa County. And then you just need to specifically say what site you'd like to go ahead and go to. And then next up, there's going to be a community conversation about a number of the things that have been going on so far, not just in our nation, but of course locally. And so we're going to have a community conversation around the Concord Police policies and public safety. And as you can see, it's going to be here on Wednesday, July 25th at 6:30. It is going to, there's actually talk that it's going to be not only a Zoom meeting, it'll be, of course, on Concord Television. And the one thing I want to bring everyone's attention to is that the chief did go ahead and put out a very good response to the 8 Can't Wait campaign, and it helped people just get a better understanding of what happens in the city of Concord right now around our police policies and the different things that we've got. That we've taken a lot of time, not just this year or even at this moment, but over the last few years, to have these conversations. And so it is one part that I have to say, even previous chief with Guy Swanger, that was something that has always been in the forefront and important to us. And so so we're glad that if the community wants to continue to have those conversations, we continue to be open to conversations around how to make sure public safety is as best as it possibly can be here in the city of Concord. And then on that as well, I wanted to just give everybody a quick heads up. Cron is going to be doing kind of a Bay Area highlight as well, that is going to be looking at 2 specific topic areas, and there's going to be a number of mayors that I'm going to be joining. It's next Wednesday, June 24th. I'm sorry, I think it's next Wednesday, June 24th at 9 p.m. And we're going to be talking about not just we're going to be talking about both COVID and the city's response to the different things around COVID, but then also talking about the movement and kind of the police policies in their cities and the things that are going on. And of course, my favorite is 4th of July coming up here very, very soon. And thank you to all of our partners involved. Of course, we've got some great sponsors, Marathon Petroleum and Pacific Service Credit Union, who are helping us out with this. And the Concord 4th of July, of course, is going virtual. It's a virtual parade, but the day itself has a number of kind of fun things. So what we are trying to make sure everyone is aware of is that anybody can participate in the virtual parade that's being put on. It doesn't matter if it is a group of Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, just your neighborhood group, your friends and neighbors up and down your street. If you guys want to do something, it could be, riding bikes. It doesn't have to be an official float. It could be something that you feel is important, including your business. If you wanted to decorate a storefront and something of that nature, we would love to see you. The goal is it's going to be pieced together into kind of a fun community parade and small show that we're going to be putting on the 4th of July. It's going to come out on Concord TV, and you can also view it on Facebook and some other social media platforms that we're gonna go ahead and stream it to. So we're excited about that. If you want to go to ConcordJuly4th.com to submit your entries, and then you can see a number of the different things that are going to happen during the day. Of course, we're going to do the best of the parade. That's going to be what's going to kick it off. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've put a lot of clips together. It should be fun. Then we'll do the neighbor parade itself, and then we've got a number of local bands that are going to be playing for us, some live music on throughout the day, and then do a little patriotic tribute at the end. So hopefully you have a chance to tag into that. It should be a lot of fun. And also, the census is still going on. Please don't forget about this. We got a report the other day saying that the response rate in the city of Concord has been about 70%, so which is good. But again, remind your neighbor, remind your friends, tell everybody what's going on. Hopefully everybody on this call has had an opportunity to go into the census, fill out the information, go to 2020census.gov. The deadline is October 31st. So if you can go ahead and tag into that, that would be great. And let's get that taken care of. It's a big deal when it comes to funding for a lot of the services and things that happen, both for local funding. So if you can get that done. So next up, we've got Elaine. She is from Visit Concord, and thank you for being here today. And they've got a few things that they'd like to share with us as we kind of get to open. So Elaine?
Yeah, well, thank you everyone for being on the call. These are always great and informative. So again, welcome back. We've missed everyone, and we're coming back safely. Thanks. So again, we're getting ready for our visitor center, so we really encourage everybody to check it out. Right now we have curbside delivery, social distancing, bring your mask in, come check us out, come say hi, because we're going to have a lot of information coming up soon. And this is just to show you can go a little preview of some of the items that we have on our store. So we've got some racks ready to go anytime you need a gift. Anything from $2 up to about $20. We've got some nice hats and jackets, pullovers, t-shirts, pins. We'll have keychains, lots of great stuff with Concord logos on it. So we're excited about that. And, again, just reminding everyone as we're navigating these times that we have the alfresco. So please check out the willows, the verandas, and many more for those outside dining opportunities until July 1st. Please be safe. We have that outdoor farmers market on Tuesdays at the Concord High. And we have also just, our drive-in. It's gotten tons of great press and promotion all over the state that we are one of the cities with a drive-in, and people are having a really fun time getting out safely for that. And then again, outdoor recreation. So we still have amazing, our state park, our East Bay Regional Parks, take a little drive out to the beaches safely, and just, continue to walk, hike and bike and explore that you can right now during these times. And again, we've gotten some great press. We're out there. We're pushing it out safely just as a serene location. And we just got tagged by US Travel as one of their partners, and just appreciating the way that we're safely letting everybody know about all the great things there are in Concord and the mountain. And again, check us out on our website. We're getting ready to work on trip itineraries, safe outdoor events, and we'll keep everybody posted as our attractions safely reopen. So thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Elaine. We really appreciate Visit Concord and the staff at Visit Concord, and just trying to have a little fun, especially if anybody's looking for a little Concord swag to to show off where we live. It's kind of fun that they got that stuff put together. So just to kind of wrap up here, of course, the Eye of Diablo, Beacon Lighting. It happens every Sunday at this point throughout this time of COVID. Of course, COVID is not over, so it's still kind of also a little bit of a reminder to let people know, hey, we're not done with this yet. There's still a lot more things to happen as we move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for just general open forum at this point in time. And again, thank you for joining us today. We do appreciate that. Any questions, again, don't hesitate to reach out to myself, any member that's on this call from city staff, our city manager, or Guy Bjerke as well. The chamber staff is always willing to help, so please do not hesitate to reach out to them. And then, of course, my information is on the screen. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and email me. I think there were a few comments that came in. I don't know, Valerie, one or two, did you want to share specifically?
One of the questions that came in from a couple people is, why is there so much money from the CARES program for CDBG allocated to administration? And I pointed out that any money you get from the federal government comes with a significant number of strings, both from having to do a lot of paperwork initially, to having to do monitoring of the program and the expenditures, to having then to be part of audits and reportings to the federal government. And so that program is set up across the United States such that 20% of the money goes to administration, because that's been their experience to support the level of effort that goes into complying with the program responsibilities. So that was a part of the conversation on the chat. And that was really mostly it that I've seen so far.
Okay.
A lot of thank yous to Visit Concord and to Guy and, you know, that topics, those topics.
The other thing, and I noticed that just a few mentions about some of the things in terms of we've gotten, of course, a number of phone calls or letters regarding the different things, people very concerned around the police budgets and public safety, and also a lot of questions about mental health, education, a number of programs. And so just so people are aware, the city council, including myself, have been trying to do a number of listening sessions throughout, and the goal is to do a number of listening sessions throughout the next month until July 15th. And of course, July 15th isn't an end date. I would say that's just something that we put out there that says, hey, you know, between now and then, our goal is to hear from community, and more than happy to have conversations with you about those different things. I know that even our chief has had an opportunity to speak to a number of groups and has done a very good job kind of just explaining the different things. And I also, if you have an opportunity, please take a moment to read the letter that the chief put out this last week. And I think it was very, very insightful and kind of helps, especially just kind of spur some conversation. But we definitely look forward to some future conversations around where monies go and how things are allocated. And also, there's definitely been a little bit of a learning curve for a number of people around who controls what. And so that's another piece in terms of what the county kind of has control of, what the city has control of, what the school district has control of. And so as we go along, the goal is to also make sure that everybody's on the same page about all those different buckets of money and how things interact and work together, including even our own budget, because some things tend to be under one very big umbrella that maybe our city does it one way, another city would break things out differently so that percentages actually look different. So I just want to kind of point that out.
The other thing that's worth mentioning for anybody who's part of the homeowners association or a service group who wants to chat with the chief about this topic or other topics, he's working very hard to make himself available. I think most people know that he's worked for the city of Concord as chief for about 9 or 10 weeks at this point. and all of it has been under COVID. So he hasn't been able to do the kind of community outreach he desires to do, but he's doing it by phone, by stopping out at places to get lunch. And he's already done a number of, Zoom meetings like this with various groups. So if you have a group that's interested, you can reach out to him through the website. You can find an email address for the chief of police and or the chief secretary, and he will work with you to set something up.
Yeah, and if for some reason you're not able to find that, of course, my information is on the screen, and if you need to, I can always help connect you with that, or any of my council members can help connect you with that. We'd be more than happy, and the goal is just make sure that we're all having a good conversation. So, any other questions from anybody at this time?
Somebody wants to know when the next community town hall will occur.
So the goal is to have them roughly every 2 weeks at this point. We did hold off a week ago just because we wanted, for the sake of timing and some of the health orders, we delayed it an additional week. But the goal is every 2 weeks, so it won't be this weekend. We'll actually, I take that back. We probably will not have one on July 4th. We're all going to probably be a little busy that day. So stay tuned on the next date. We'll see. If appropriate, we'll have one on the 27th. If not, it looks like chances are it'll probably be on July 11th. Will probably be the next town hall. And again, there are also going to be a number of other community listening sessions and other things that are going to be going on. So just stay tuned for those, and we'll let you know when the next meetings are. All right. And
okay, Tim, can I bring up families real quick? George Fulmore.
Hi, George. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I just want to point out that a lot of families, Concord families, are struggling. Schools have been out for a couple of months now, and it looks like going back, they're only going to be open physically maybe 2 days a week. So that has made it difficult for people to go back to work full time. What a great thing in Concord is the free food distribution. I hear over there at the Refuge Church on Meadow Lane, it's just crazy on Tuesdays. And Monument Impact has added a day, so their numbers are huge too. So that part is really good. But playgrounds aren't open, spray park isn't open, so it's limited recreation for the kids right now. And of course, a lot of people fear a real wave of evictions. So we're sure hoping that those the moratorium on evictions will go stretch out to the end of the year, and somehow we'll have a smooth transition, figuring out how people are going to repay their rent if they weren't able to pay rent. So I know we haven't got back to Echo Housing. I think that started out a little rough, and I'm not sure it got any better. But Monument Impact's coming up with some money. It's good that Shelter Inc.'s got some more money. So the goals are to keep people from losing their housing because they can't pay their rent. And so that's just a report on families out there that are struggling.
Yep. No, thank you for that, George. And of course, I mean, we're all very, very concerned, and you're right. There's going to be a transition part that's going to happen between when shelter in place is lifted, and people have to kind of hopefully return back to, and that's a part of even our economic development strategy, is making sure that a lot of those businesses, especially local businesses, hopefully they can pick up local people too to help them get back to work. And this could be one of those opportunities that hopefully people are able to hire local. I mean, there's so many times where we've heard, hey, you commute into the city, but maybe a lot of those same jobs are available locally. And while a lot of companies may have laid people off, or have, people have been laid off over the last few weeks or months, they're going to be rehiring. And so hopefully it's an opportunity to start placing local people in local jobs. And so if those things can happen, that'll be good. And all of us will be trying to make that happen. But you're right. Luckily we were able to take some of the CARES Act money, move it into helping people bridge some of those gaps as they get back to work. And it's going to, there are going to be some concerns there. And so we're all trying to look into that very closely and do our best. I do actually want to give a shout out to a number of the different charities that have stepped up to distribute food. I honestly have to say that the Concord community has done an absolutely fantastic job around that. The Monument Crisis Center has moved to 3 days a week, and they went from serving 2,000 families to 5,000 families on a regular basis. You look at what's going on with the different churches in St. Vincent de Paul, along in partnership with the food bank. Our four Catholic church sites are giving out food every 2 weeks, and they're giving out, I believe, 250 food boxes to people. A number of the different St. Vincent de Paul pantries are open as well. And then you mentioned the Refuge Church. So there's basically somewhere to probably pick up food every single day of the week in Concord. And so that is something that hopefully families are able to take advantage of, and that it's working. So I can't say can't say enough thank yous to all of those who have made those things possible and have donated, not just their time, but all the money that goes into that. So. All right. Well, with that, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today, and we appreciate everyone. And again, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions, and we'll let you know when the next meeting is going to be coming up. Have a great Saturday. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to everyone. That's right.
Thanks.